Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Tuesday, September 3rd, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce to number 2 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So when it comes to today's energies, we have the otter energy. The otter is so popular. Like, I swear the otter shows up in my world way more often than I would like, whether it's emails from companies with the name in it, or I go on Instagram and the Earth channel that I follow, I'm constantly seeing them. And in the cards, I feel like they come up so often. It's like once a week, the otter energy comes up some way, somehow. But the otter energy ties into water, ties into emotions, brings me to emotional stability and security. The energies in the day adds up and reduces to number 2 vibration, bringing me also to emotional security and stability. When I look at the otter is looking off into the future. And with the otter looking off into the future, and I look at the circle around the otter and the colors that are in the background circling the otter, and I see the color yellow, the color greenish, bluish. So I think of creative energy, I think of heart energy, and I think of communication. And when I think of these, the colors in the background of the otter, it brings me to whenever we're in a positive or a safe space is what came to mind. Something about being in a safe space. Also what's coming to mind is I remember coming across something on Instagram the other day, and it was saying how children who are happy and safe or normally loud and charismatic, even though I don't know if that's always the case, but then I imagine, a child that is allowed to be themselves is, allowed to, even though I think of children who are allowed to be themselves, who are safe and might have an introverted, quiet personality. So I could see how there's, I could see how that could go both ways. But with the otter energy coming out, it brings me to emotional balance, emotional stability, emotional security. The day being the 3rd, there's a childlike, expressive energy to the day, and the energies in the day adding up and reducing to number 2 vibration brings me to some, more emotional energy. Or also too with the energies in today, it brings me to say yesterday, there's a new beginning or a new perspective or a new thought when it comes to a thing. And today it's like steadily moving forward and also coming up with new ideas or new ways of making something better as you steadily move forward towards a thing. The tarot associated with today's energy is the Page of Cups in a reversal position. So in the upright position, this page is intuitive. This page is creative. Like, look at how the page is dressed. This page dances to the beat of their own drum as far as how they creatively express themselves. The page is also, wearing an octopus on its head and communicating to a fish. So this shows me that this is, this talks about being intuitive, being open to one's intuition, being proud and confident in one's creative, expressive, intuitive ways and abilities. In the reversal position, this brings me to a rejection of that. And I find that often whenever our intuition becomes too much, whether It is that we can't trust it, don't want to trust it, or we're perceiving things that makes us feel uncomfortable or feeling powerless because of where we are in the moment. This in the reversal position will bring me to the thought of escapism. Escapism through substance abuse, escapism through just idle time, like spending our time and energy doing something to get away from our current situation. So when I think of the otter coming out with this, it brings me to accepting something for what it is. It's like, what is this thing that you're having a hard time accepting for what it is? And it's bringing me back to yesterday's energy, where there's definitely something about yesterday's energy, even though yesterday dealt with some new beginning. I think of how with yesterday's energy, how the star card came out, and the star card was a part of yesterday's message. And the turtle, which was in the upright position, that dealt with like moving forward, but taking one's time moving forward. So it's like with yesterday's energy, there was something about someone cutting their losses and having a hard time cutting their losses. So it's like trying to move forward, but refusing to cut their loss. And it's like, how do you move forward if you're refusing to free yourself from the past? And then when we get to today's energy, the Page of Cups in the reversal position would probably bring me more into that, where it's like whenever we avoid seeing certain things or accepting certain things for what it is, it's like whenever we avoid that, it's like we have to kind of medicate ourselves in order to live with ourselves or accept the moment or be within the moment. Today's energy is ruled by Mars, because Tuesday is associated with Mars energy, and Mars is at 28 degrees in Gemini. So Mars is at a very intense degree in Gemini. So with Mars energy dealing with war and conflict, confrontation, passion, expression, with Mars energy being part of a T square with Neptune, Neptune in Pisces, Venus in Libra, to me, this could reflect conflict when it comes to, say, certain things coming up with our family members, or even certain things coming up with the communities that we associate ourselves with, where we could find ourselves easily irritated by the communities that we follow, where you might engage in certain communities, and for whatever reason right now it might be hard for you to follow or watch or hear whatever it is that they gotta say, because certain things that they're speaking on or certain things that they're saying totally goes against whatever it is that you believe, and that frustration is building up with that energy. Or with Mars in Gemini, it could be something around our family, where it's like, I think of the T square energy, where it's like because we're related, we might cling together, but there's this irritating feeling or this irritable energy being in the presence of those people, because it's like, just because we're blood, or just because we're related, or just because we've known each other for a really, really long time, or just because we're a part of the same community, or we share certain things in common, like that's not enough of a reason for us to like stay together. Like I go back to, say, yesterday's energy, and with yesterday's energy, the star card came out in the reversal position. And say with the star card coming out in the reversal position for yesterday's energy, say for example someone's a part of a family that, everybody's family probably has some form of dysfunction about them to a certain extent. And say someone's a part of a family that's really dysfunctional, and they're the glue that holds the family together. And for that, they normally end up being the punching bag and the one to blame for everything because of the fact that they care. And say something happens and it's like they have a hard time cutting their loss and acknowledging the fact that just because you're blood doesn't mean that, like, just because you guys came from the same place doesn't mean that you guys are going to the same place. And it's time to cut your losses. Where with the star card in the reversal position, it might be that a person might come to the realization with yesterday's message that, you know what, I have a hard time walking away from these people or this thing that's so familiar, because even though it's not good for me, there's something about it that makes me feel safe because I've known it for so long. And it's like someone's role in that destruction or in the chaos that keeps happening might be that I need to learn to be more independent. Yes, you might pay your own bills and take care of yourself financially, but there might be some emotional imbalance as far as independence where that's concerned. So, we're codependent and cling to people and connections just to have them around, avoiding being by ourselves. And it's like, when it comes to yesterday's energy, it's like owning one's role. And one's role might be like, I'm not good by myself, so because of that, I show up and I try to rescue people, and it never ends well. And then when we come to today's energy, I feel like today's energy is a reflection of yesterday's energy. Because with, say, yesterday's energy, not realizing what our role is in a thing, we feel powerless because we don't understand why something keeps happening. Like, I remember for me, for the longest, I would get so disappointed when friendships didn't work out, because it's like, I thought like, I'm showing up and I'm being so nice and I'm being so helpful, but yes, still like I keep getting like these people keep turning on me, or this or that keep happening. And it's like, my role is that sometimes my help hurts, where it's like I might see a problem or perceive a problem where the person with the problem haven't perceived that problem or don't want to acknowledge that there is a challenge there, and I'm jumping in trying to help or be of service, and my help for them is interpreted as there's something wrong with me. You're telling me that I'm broken, you're telling me that I'm not enough. And it creates conflict where it's like, my role was learning to wait to ask for help. And that's where I learned over time, like, create a career, create a business, or be a part of a career where people are paying you for your help, since it's their nature to want to help. So to me, from me learning my role, I was able to see, okay, I need to create a career where I'm helping for a living because I like to help. Because other than that, I would find myself in situations where, I attract friendships and connections where I feel like I'm always being taken advantage of and used. And that's because there's a part of me that needed them to play the role of patient so I could be nurse, so I could nurse them back. So when it comes to today's energy, some of us might find ourselves feeling powerless about something. And I feel like something about yesterday needs to be revisited. Something about yesterday needs to be properly understood. And it's not even just about, say, yesterday's energy. It's about like, where do you find yourself dealing with a reoccurring theme in your life where it's like same poop, different toilet. The same thing keeps happening with different people. Whenever we see the same thing keep happening with different people, it comes back to, the common denominator. What is my role? And I feel like until we are clear about our role, Page of Cups, we find ourselves feeling powerless to the point where we don't have the energy to do anything, the energy to be bothered, because it just feels like everything just keeps coming against, a person feel like everything keeps coming from me or coming against me. And it's a matter of taking your power back. Because like I said in yesterday's message, it was from running my business in the salon, being a business owner, from being an entrepreneur. I've pretty much been an entrepreneur my entire life, where my first job was at 15 in a clothing store. Then at 16, I became a CNA. And by the age of 19, 20, I fully went into the beauty industry. But since 12, I've been doing hair on the front porch, in the basement, wherever. If you let my grandmother tell it, she'll say I've been doing hair since my eyes been at my knees. So from being my own boss, I learned that the best way to have a successful business is every time something goes wrong, let the customer always be right, as in let them teach me how I could secure my foundation. It's like, say, you're a warrior or you're a soldier going to war, and every time something goes wrong, a challenge comes up, you're able to strengthen your defense so that you're unstoppable. From looking at things in that way when it came to my business, I applied the same to my life. And I find that over time, because before I used to feel like I hate, like I can't stand people, like I can't stand people, and no matter what I do, it just never ends right. Interacting, I can't trust people, I can't this, I can't that. And from sitting and assessing the salon situations, I realized it was all about how I was showing up and my boundaries, how I was showing up and the rules as to how can you engage with me, or what's okay, what's not okay. And I don't mean my way or the highway, but I saw that, like, yeah, if I show up in a situation and give, then I'm going to teach the other person to only take. You know what I'm saying? Or if I show up in a situation where it's like I'm trying to fix the other person, then to a certain extent, I'm telling them that they could always lean on me and it's always about them, and that's okay. Like, I don't ever need reciprocity or balance in my life. So, you know, I feel like the power is within us. Like, we create our reality not through just our thoughts, our words, and our actions, but, you know, how are we showing up? You guys, it's such a pleasure sharing these messages with you. Hey guys, I want to share with you 7 benefits of getting a numerology natal chart awareness coaching session. The first one is understanding your internal programming. The second one is becoming more clear about your purpose and passion. The third is setting goals for success. The fourth is awareness of strength and areas of improvement. And the fourth one was foundational for me, because whenever you're aware of your weaknesses, no one can use them against you. And when you're aware of your strengths, that makes you unstoppable. And that is why I say self-awareness is a superpower. The 5th benefit is removing obstacles. We first have to become aware of a thing in order to remove it in the first place. The 6th benefit is understanding relationship dynamics. We don't have to change the people in our lives. We have to become aware of ourselves and start from there, and everything changes. And the 7th benefit is upcoming transits, if that's something that you would like to look into because you're planning for something or you just want to be aware. So if you're interested in booking a numerology natal chart awareness coaching session or learning more about it, the link to book or the link to send me an email for questions are both within the description box below. If you'd like to check out my Patreon, where I share exclusive content, the link to check out what's happening on Patreon is in the description box below. Before you go anywhere, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me an orange heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.